Last week, Meraai was the focus of a TV crew that popped in to film our famous big girl. After listening to advice from many of you that are following our journey, I ordered an intercooler that is hopefully going to give us better fuel consumption and performance.
Now that's what we're talking about.
And we ended on a high as Meraai's nose job took a big stride forwards. This week is a roller coaster of note. Work on Meraai's nose just will not end. Bonnie Prince Charles continues building our driver's cabin. And after seeing what still needs to be done, I hit the wall and battle to stand up again. All this and so much more in episode 113 of A Dream Called Meraai. It is a new week, it is a new day, and we will have challenges. We will have lots of challenges, time probably being the biggest one. What a week was last week. Hopefully this week will be as entertaining. What I must just say is we will be taking a break from next week. So the next time we go out will be on the 13th of Feb. However, on the 10th of Feb, at 6:30 in the evening on channel 144 on CakeNet, our little insert is going out on sparsely. So make a note. You can still get your Meraai fix. It won't be on YouTube, it'll be on CakeNet. If you have not already subscribed to our channel, please hit the subscribe button. There are no costs involved in subscribing. Inside East Coast Scratch and Dent, Markiplier Chris is in his all too familiar stand and suss things out pose. So one thing I've come to learn when I come to East Coast Scratch and Dent, what I see Chris standing, staring at this car. And he does a lot of staring. Then I go away, and when I come back, boom, something has been done. So there's a lot of looking, then boom, 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 then looking. So now we need him to look here and put some skin on the sides here and on the other side. He has filled in all the gaps on the bonnet, and Meraai is looking all beefed up. Hopefully we are good to go and we can start focusing on the mountain of other things that need doing. Another thing that needs some urgent attention are the doors. We need to put the skin on the doors, and we need to install the windows on the door as well as the glass to fill those gaps. All of this stuff just to finish things off around this front section. They're moving around to the rear of the vehicle. These tail lights. We still need to sort the tail lights out. I was told a few weeks ago, no, the guys are coming with a new setup. Not the round ones we were going for. Something from some make of Ford that'll fit in here and it'll look stunning. Well, at the moment it's still a black hole. In the front, Chris was still busy working on the bonnet area. I remember that once he told me that working with steel is challenging. One of the huge challenges when you're working with steel is that it moves around. So what Chris is finding now, if he welds or does any work over here, suddenly what was flush on that side is no longer flush. It moves, and it can move by like 10 mils sometimes. So you go along and you corrected that side, it's out this side, and it's because this stuff moves around. Very frustrating. Chris then has to bend and grind work already done for the umpteenth time to get everything lined up. And for the umpteenth time, after his efforts, the bonnet is looking awesome. More awesome news is that our intercooler has arrived. The intercooler that I ordered has arrived. So we're going to have to look at putting it in. Let's just put it in there. Let's finish this thing, man. Let's finish it. I am acutely aware that by ordering the intercooler, I have added a few more hours to our build. At least it is only hours and not days. On that note, sadly, one more of you are out of the running to win one of these limited edition Meraai T-Hempies in our Guess When Meraai will drive out of East Coast Scratch and Dent competition. Jacques, sorry, but I thought 31 of Jan was the right answer. Boy, oh boy, were we both wrong or what? And then there were 5. And at this rate, my money is on either Daniel, Patrick or Barent. Chris is back grinding away at Meraai's bonnet, which means either something is out of line or he is smoothing things up. Hopefully it is the latter. In the background, Chris's mini-me Nikki is working on closing up a few exposed wires using aluminium channeling to hide them. At his feet, Bonnie Prince Charles is busy welding the supports for our front seat into place, when something chases Nikki away. As soon as the noise stops, it becomes crystal clear what it was that made poor Nikki get the hell out of there. Bonnie Prince Charles just loves his sake. For you international guys, sake is not an oriental rice wine, but a kind of music that really whines. Nikki continued with his fine-tuning of the aluminium edges, while Chris continued to work on Meraai's nose. Prince Charles was happily working like a trooper, drinking his sake. I was still so worried at the apparent lack of urgency in completing our build. And here is a list of things we still need to do. Complete the nose structure including grid, bull bar, plus running and spotlights. Complete the wiper system including the window washers. Assemble the entire air and cooling system of the engine. Install and connect the winch. Complete the fan system of the driver's cab. Complete the fuel system, including installing the fuel tank. Make all the pedals and connect them. Connect the brake system. Make a handbrake. Connect the drive shaft. Secure the steering box and steering wheel. Complete and install the dashboard. Install all the dashboard instrumentation. Complete and install the center console. Complete the floor and install the driver's seats. Make all driver's cab cosmetics, door panels, cup holders, etc. Install main rear lights and top running lights. Finalize all auto electric installation. Install the rear bumper. Install the spare wheel and its bracket. Install all the remaining glass on the front of the vehicle. Place all the door panels and handles on doors. Construct driver's cab entry steps. Paint the main body of the vehicle, including all the storage doors. Inside, we need to complete all the overhead lockers. Install our cupboard door. Install the TV storage. Make our dinette table. Insulate the floor. Lay the final flooring. Finalize all 12 and 220 lighting inside the vehicle. Phew! Only then can we begin to test every single component of the vehicle. Keeping this formidable list in mind, Brahm has told Mariki and I that he will be done by the end of February, and we can do our official launch in early March. It is Wednesday, it is the middle of the week, and it is time for us to have a conversation that I do not want to have, but this is out of necessity. For months and months, I have been going to Brahm and saying we are running out of funds, and nobody seems to be listening to me. And we're at a stage now where the kitty is pretty much empty. It is devastating. So we got two options. Either we have to borrow money to finish this vehicle, or we got to sell it as it is, and it's going to get us nothing. We will lose hundreds and hundreds of thousands of rands, and nobody seems to be like thinking there's any urgency about this. So yeah, we're in a big pickle here, a big bloody pickle. This meltdown has been hovering in the background for a long time. Over the last 2+ years, many of you have shared with us how long your builds took. Some a few months, the longest I think was 6 years. You have to remember our build is a full-time build, taking place at a commercial business. A build that began on the 28th of September 2020 and has been on the go every working day of every week since then. That is 587 working days, and I stress working days, which translates to a financially crippling fortune. My feet were like lead when I got home. The financial pressure is taking its toll on my health and our ability to survive this. Like many freelancers in the film and television industry, I have no pension fund, no savings. Walking down to my study, I felt defeated and alone. We will never recover from this on a financial level. And with both of us being in our 60s, one has to ask the question, did we make a terrible mistake? We were incredibly naive when we started this project. We did not know what to expect. We set ourselves parameters, and we had going to be nice finish date, and we had a realistic finish date. The one to be nice finish date was 1.5 years. The realistic finish date was 2 years. We are now 2 years, 5 months down the line. Back then, we had a budget of 700,000. I must stress it was not money in the bank, but money we still needed to earn. Meraai has cost over double our initial budget, and we are still not done. This is where we were 10 months ago, so there has been movement, a lot of movement. However, Brahm and I totally underestimated this project. If it were only me under the financial cosh, I would suck it up and take the consequences. But I have gambled my soulmate Mariki's financial future, and that is destroying me. I can only hope that Brahm can fulfill his promise of completing Meraai by the end of February. If not, to put it bluntly, we are in deep cuck. I had to dig myself out of this pit of negativity and despair. But I just can't find it in myself to end an insert on that note. The god of meltdowns must have heard my plea, and there is a change in the air. For one, the never-ending bonnet has all the lumps and bumps smoothed out to a silky finish. But that's not all. Behind me, Nikki has already installed the new shocks for the front two wheels, and is now busy on the back. The big guy is working in the most cramped conditions, and it doesn't take him long to install all the new shocks. The guys have started working on the fuel tank, and they're moving the fuel tank back deeper into the vehicle and lifting it so it doesn't stick out so far. As a result, Chris is busy modifying the tank so it can fit into its new location. And Bonnie Prince Charles is busy now installing the seats on top of their boxes into their final position. And another big one is that all the cabling and the brake cabling and the fuel pipes and the brake piping has been ripped out. This is what was pulled from the vehicle. What you need to keep in mind is that this vehicle was a bus that transported passengers. Now, what I'm holding here is one of the brake lines, and I don't know if you can see, there's a little bump here. That little bump is these brake lines have been soldered and welded and patched, and these things operate under high pressure, so I have no idea how they did this. I mean, this is dangerous. So all of this is now going to be sorted out and replaced with new stuff. And here is all that shiny and lekker new stuff. Prince Charles has now moved over to the center console. He needs to insert cup holders and sort out some storage space. And poof! Holes for cup holders cut and storage sorted. Well, that's pretty much it for this week. And what a roller coaster week. I'm not lying when I say to you I have rewritten the script 5 or 6 times. But I refuse to get just into too big a hole, into too down. This is just, it's too important. And but the fear that we're living with, this financial fear, is very, very real. You know, we're gambling with a lot here. It's not money that we had in the bank. It's money that we're earning and spending, and that is terrifying. I'm just hoping that this end is in sight. So yeah, but I think the God of Rants heard me, and a lot happened in the last little part of the week, the last couple of days. A lot happened. We're going to go now off air, taking a break, going to Cape Town, and listen to some Sting, chillax, and we will be back on air on the 13th. Oh yes, and don't forget this. Meraai makes her mainstream TV debut on the 10th of February at 6:30 in the evening on CakeNet's show Sparsy on DSTV's channel 144. So as always, please look after yourselves, look after your property, look after your family, look after your loved ones. Keep your pets inside when it gets too hot, and above all, keep safe. Remember to like us on Facebook and subscribe to our channel on YouTube. You will find us under A Dream Called Meraai. Until next time, keep your dreams alive.